Hi, everybody, for the Love of Health web show, of course, where I get the chance to talk to other health business owners, health practitioners. It's an opportunity for you guys as well to listen to these other health business owners, hear about how they are making their unique impact with their specific service-based modality. I'm here with Callie Price today, and Callie is coming to us from the West Coast. And yeah, Callie, how long have you been operating your business for?
I've been a personal trainer for about 7 years, and within the hormone and fitness space, it's been just over a year now that I've been in this area.
Awesome. Thanks for giving us that little recap of kind of what you're doing and how you serve people. So physical training, it's a very broad field, as all of our modalities are. And that's part of the show, is just to show all of those different, it's a huge range of services that we fall under. And so what specific things do physical trainers generally do? Like, what's popular? If you're a physical trainer, what does that generally mean?
Especially since COVID, a lot of online programs have gotten popular, more so like boot camps and challenges and those kind of things that are a quick in and out. You're going to get the immediate results and go from there. A lot of HIIT training that's been popular. Even the spin classes with Peloton has gotten super popular over the last couple of years since the pandemic and everything as well.
Oh, the Peloton marketing.
Yes.
They almost got me asking, the husband, hey, honey, it's $49 a month. But then I saw that people were actually very dissatisfied. So, it's always those complicated things about exercise and can we afford it? Like, how do you make it easy? But honestly, you can just go outside for a walk or for a run, right? Like, there's a lot of challenges with exercise, but it's one of the pillar things. We know pillar things for good lifestyle health is exercise. Like, what is it? 1,000 minutes a day is the general advisory.
I don't know about 1,000 a day. That might be a lot of minutes.
It is a lot of minutes.
But getting like 30 minutes in 5 days a week is typically what's recommended from the American Heart Association and those kind of things. But a lot of research as well has been done on men in the fitness industry. So finding something specific for us as women and specifically as menstruating women has been more of a challenge and something that we need to focus on as well.
Oh, okay, I see. So, the industry tends to be saturated with a lot of men and men-centered conversation. Can you give like an example of that? Like maybe something that you witnessed or something you see happening?
Yeah, sure. So if you look at the research, the science that's been done, you'll see that men are primarily studied as well as postmenopausal women. And as postmenopausal women, your hormones are similar to men on a 24-hour clock. So that's why HIIT training with the high intensity intervals has gotten a lot of push and a lot of results, so to speak, but it's been shown mostly for men and postmenopausal women. And then women who are menstruating, when we take our hormones into consideration, we might not get as great of results because we're not working with our hormones, which are a huge part of our lives and how we should be working out too. So we've been trying to push ourselves into doing the workouts that are made for men, but not getting those results and just being frustrated with our weight loss and just not feeling well and those kind of things. So we need to step back and actually work with our bodies.
And do you see some of those kinds of things come up with your clients? Like, are they talking about these expectations that you're talking about that are reasons or catalysts for either wanting to work with you or just general frustrations?
Yeah, totally. I've had a lot of women come to me specifically on the diet side too. They've tried keto or intermittent fasting. They've tried the boot camp challenges, all those things, and are just frustrated with it because they're not seeing as significant results as they were maybe promised or were looking to get. And it's super eye-opening when they start working with the phases of their cycle and their hormones, and then they notice how much better they feel and that the weight is coming off more effortlessly and they're just getting those real results that they were looking for.
Well, that's great. And I mean, I hear a lot from people too is they've previously worked with people, other coaches, and they're not finding the results, or things are not coming to fruition with their personal feelings about their health as well as how they look and they appear, which seems to be linked so directly for women. Like how you look is a measure of the success you have with exercise. And I mean, how do you feel about that? I mean, that's such a hard one to navigate with people. How would you deal with that?
Yeah, I mean, diet culture and diet industry has put that on us so much, and just the way culture is, we want to look good as well as feel good. And there's a way that you can have both rather than, okay, I might look good, but I don't feel good. I'm not nourishing my body properly. I'm hungry all the time. I'm tired, I'm cranky, and all these things. But yeah, my body looks good. So that's great. Or the opposite, when women come to me and they're like, I'm just working on accepting my body for what it is, never going to lose this weight, like all those type of things. There's a balance, and you really can achieve both. And it's totally okay to want to look good as well. We all want to look good. That helps with your confidence and so many other things. So it's totally fine to want to join a program just for the aesthetics and to look better, but also you want to feel better along the way as well.
All right. So what is that way to feel better? How would you begin that process for someone? How do you reframe that for someone?
Yeah. So a lot of the women that I work with who come to me, we will start off with completely restructuring their diet as well as their workout program. So I typically start off with a gut reset for most of my clients, because that is a primary area where it's going to lead to their hormone imbalances, PMS, feeling that fatigue, your cramps every month, your moodiness, all those things. You can help with resetting your gut and healing there. That's going to lead to those long term results. Specifically, I have a client who I'm working with right now, and her biggest concern, she was feeling bloated all the time. Her stomach was distended and just like felt like she had put on a lot of pounds. And then over the last 6, 7 weeks, she's significantly lost inches and a lot of bloating, and her PMS has improved. She doesn't feel the moods coming on every month. Her cramps have gone away, all those things just from starting out with the gut reset and then gradually getting more lifestyle.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a functional medicine approach. So are you like, where is your background in that? How did you come to adding that tool into your toolbox for your clients?
Yeah. So back in college, my undergrad was in kinesiology, and I have a master's in exercise and wellness. Then immediately after college, I was actually working in healthcare for a little bit. I was working in the emergency room, thinking I wanted to actually go into medicine. And then I structured, and I really liked the preventative side better. So got into more personal training for the past 7 years. And then over these last couple of years, I came across a bunch more functional medicine approaches to dealing with your hormones and balancing naturally, specifically with Alyssa Vitti. She kind of pioneered the cycle syncing method and working with the 4 phases of your cycle with syncing your workouts and your nutrition and all those kind of things. So it's been more personal research that I've done and helping women with hormones. Dr. Aviva Ram is a good one too. She has created more of this gut reset using a whole foods approach. So it's not any of those shakes and drinks and you're skimping on calories and all those things. You still feel good, and you're just eating more of a whole nutritious diet.
Yeah. Yeah, Yale trained MD as well. Yeah, amazing. So this is interesting. This is an interesting segue because it's like you're like the next generation after the generation who was initially talking about these things in a very public and mainstream way. And it's going to be very interesting to see the work that you do. And then, of course, the following generations of the people that you help.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's kind of the natural progression of people learning the truth, applying the truth, getting the results, and what happens next? We get better at it. It's like just really
Totally.
kind of the natural progression. So that's
Yeah.
really, really, really neat that you bring those ladies up, right? And how people are feeling after they've worked with someone. So Yeah. So how many clients have you gotten a chance to do like some group programs? Like what kinds of things have excited you when
Yeah.
working with people? More the one-to-one or the small groups?
I kind of have a range of programs. I started when I first got into it, I started a membership program. So it was more self paced. You have access to my library of workouts that are all broken down into the 4 phases, and as well as recipes, and those things go out via email throughout your membership. And then I got into a small group coaching program that I started last fall, right before, started in November. So it's an 8-week group program. Taken several clients through there, and I have some clients in it right now that are actually wrapping up this week. So, and I also have some one-on-one clients that I've been working with as well. I love the variety and different ways just to reach more people and different methods that different people need. So if you like that more one-on-one attention, it's great. If you want to feed off of a group atmosphere with other women who are in the same similar boat, the group program is awesome as well.
Awesome. And our purpose here for For the Love of Health is to build strong relationships with health business owners so that they can help just build their legacy impact even better, just by knowing each other and knowing what we're doing specifically and how we can help each other. What kinds of things do you currently need help with in business? What kinds of things are you finding challenging, or what things are you like, oh, this is something I need to really focus on and develop further out because it's going to take some work on my end?
Yeah. So I think the biggest challenges are getting in front of more people, and just especially with, I feel like this field is somewhat newer with fitness and hormone coaching, and just opening up more women's eyes to it and being accepting of it and realizing that it's actually a great thing that can help them so much with PMS, endometriosis, PCOS, all those hormone imbalances that we don't necessarily just have to suffer through and live with, so to speak. So just getting in
Yeah.
people and getting the word out there is probably the biggest challenge that I've found.
Yeah, you actually just said 5 different challenges in that one phrase, right? Like the challenge of talking to people about something that they're very, like, probably sensitive about or maybe even traumatized by. I don't know many women who haven't had some kind of negative experience with a gynecologist, right? In
Oh,
their, and like you said, in the healthcare that you were going to be in, and then something's like, actually, I'm going to be with preventative care, right? Like this
yeah.
is like, this is not working here, which it isn't. A lot of things are broken. We need to admit that. And then the other parts, the actual conversations about acceptance about these illnesses and being able to actually wrap their heads around different models of care. So
Mm,
you're asking for quite a lot, Callie, and it's a big conversation, and it's going to be really life changing when they do see your way, right? And they see the results from your model of care. And
yeah.
then you mentioned getting in front of new audiences, which is a whole other thing. Like, how do you do that? Like, what are the techniques and skill sets in that? So, yeah. Well, I hear you, and yeah, it's there's like so many creative ways to be going about this, and I totally hear you. And it's a great cause to amplify that. Health of women, and it's very clear health of women specifically, and breaking down some of the more common misconceptions about fitness that seems
Mhm.
to be dominated by male culture, as you put it.
Yep, totally.
Yeah. So, what kinds of ways do you see yourself being able to convey your message? What if you like could ideally just think about like the ideal situation that to get your message out there? Where would you do it? What would you be doing?
Um, Definitely through social media and online platforms. I feel that's the biggest way you can reach more people at one time and get the word out there, and just sharing it, because it is something I feel all women need to know about and should know, especially we haven't been taught these things in like sex ed or any of those type of classes. So just an easier way to get the word out there and be in front of more people would be awesome. And
Okay.
online is, I feel like, the way to do it.
Yeah, well, you said that the sex ed classes, they don't teach it. So what about that? What about getting into the sex ed books or sex ed? Who writes those things anyway?
Right?
Is that Macmillan? Is that the one book company, one textbook company out there? Yeah, some food for thought, right?
So
Is it social media, or is it like a strategic place on social media? Like who is going to be the best catalyst for this specific message? So I invite you to think about that. And I would love to see you in the new sex education books. I know in Virginia is like what is it, like something, I forget what they call it. It starts in 4th or 5th grade,
yeah.
where, and it's a big moment for kids and for the school kids when they are starting to learn about their bodies. And it's so interesting that other forms of like anatomy and yeah, and body science, body literacy are never covered. Just the dynamics of sexual reproduction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. Yeah, I know there's so much information that we just never knew growing up. So it's awesome
Yeah.
to do it and be able to share that with more women now.
Yeah, absolutely. And you said specifically maybe the kids, what kind of benefits could that be for them to start early, and preventative? What do you compelled by that, or do you like working with teens? Or I know that you do some youth things.
Yeah. So I haven't personally worked with teens on their cycles and anything, but I believe it's something that needs to happen, especially with a lot more teens going on birth control now just to help regulate their cycles. And that really isn't needed. But it's the first thing that doctors sometimes recommend. And so their parents will put their teen on it. And there's so many other side effects that go along with birth control. That's a whole nother conversation. But just working with their bodies and helping support them where they're at, there's so many things that we can be doing with our children and teens. It's research even shows now that girls are starting so much earlier when they hit puberty and start their cycles. And we can be preventing that and still with all of so many different things, but we can help prevent that and get them starting later and just feel better with their cycles and eliminate more of that endometriosis and PCOS diagnosis that comes along with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I love your mission. I think it's great, and it's so great that you're having an impact, working with private clients and helping women feel better with their bodies, and prioritizing feeling well, more so than the cosmetic virtues of exercise, which we see way too much. You're right, way too much more projected in media than the real reason, which primarily, and for women specifically, their hormonal health. So that's really awesome and compelling. I love that. So you guys, you hear Callie's story. Follow her on social media. Hit her up. Get onto an IG collaboration. She wants to be in front of audiences on social media to get her message across. She wants to use social media as a catalyst to get her message across different platforms. So find her in the group For the Love of Health. Thank you, Callie.
Well, thank you so much.